the Weekly Breakdown.
Hi.
Number 132. We're back. Just Keith and I.
It's getting intimate again.
It is. We have some stuff we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the new Tomb Raider trailers, the Punisher trailer. We're going to talk about Kingsman, The Golden Circle, American Assassin, Mother, some music, among other things. There's a lot of things we're going to talk about. More movie-centric show, though.
Oh, yeah, like completely. Which is fine. It's nice that a lot of stuff movie-wise is happening, so...
Yeah. We got our first trailer for Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider's kind of being rebooted in terms of film. With the chick from...
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina, Alicia... Oh, God. It begins with a G.
It does it? I thought it was a V. Okay, let me...
No, maybe it's a V. Look it up. But yeah, she's from Ex Machina. And we got our first full trailer for this movie. And, you know, it very much seems like they're trying to emulate the game on film.
Alicia Vikander.
Yes, that's it. And... You know, I think she looks really good as Lara Croft, and so far in this trailer, and there's a lot of moments where they're trying to get those adrenaline-filled moments that happen in the games into the movie, with, like, you know, jumping across an airplane and jumping down from a tree and throwing a rope up.
The one thing was getting the parachute from inside the helicopter and the thing breaking out. I'm like, that's literally... Like, exactly what happens in the game.
Or I imagine she's, like, in the tomb and there's those fucking blade things that are spinning around. She has to, like, slide under one. It's, like, a 6-shot. She slides under and she's looking at it. It's like, yeah.
Also, looking here at IMDb, the villain is Matthias from the first game. So it is the same, sort of the same guy.
Yeah.
And it's Trinity, who's an organization from the games anyway. So.
But wasn't in the first one.
I think... I thought that. Or maybe not in the first one, but definitely in the second one.
Yeah, definitely the second one.
I thought Trinity worked its way in there somehow. Maybe I'm misremembering things.
Maybe I'm misremembering things, too. But yeah, I don't think it looks neat.
I hope it does well. Though, like, looking at the trailer again, noticing all these similarities between it and the games. Now, granted, it already looks better than, like, Assassin's Creed ever did. But at the same time... I'm still, like, a little worried, like, it's like, oh, you know, video game movies don't fare well, really, ever. I mean, you know, like the Prince of Persia and the Resident Evil movies are examples of ones that aren't, you know, all that respected, or Super Mario, the Super Mario Brothers movie, oh, God, I actually watched that. The movie it's like the worst movie ever made.
Yeah.
But hopefully this one does good. Like, hopefully it's just they're kind of just paying homage to the source material. Or, who knows, they just go all out. Because that's the other thing. Not superhero movies. Like, these video game movies, they try to, like, we're going to do our own thing, but we're going to pay homage to the source material. Just go all out. And just make it, like, you know, the game, in a lot of ways. Maybe with a little bit of original stuff. So, you know. But, like I said, I hope it does fairly well.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't emulate the game, like, beat for beat, because then I'd rather just go play the game, to be honest with you. It's more exciting to do it, to actually play it than watch it. But, you know, I hope it's not a train wreck. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a train wreck from the trailer. I mean, it seems like they kind of get it. I think Tomb Raider fits film a lot more than Assassin's Creed does.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed's just really hard to do on film, in my opinion. But Tomb Raider can work. It's just this big action adventure sort of movie.
You know, arguably it did with the Angelina Jolie movies. Now, the second one's not good, but the first one you could be maybe forgiven for thinking that was an okay movie. So,
yeah.
So hopefully, you know, a lot of hope there. We'll
but in terms of, like, the look of Alicia as Lara Croft, I think is good. I mean, she's got her little axe from the game. That looks pretty spot on. You know, there's a lot of really cool things. And, you know, the part when they're on the ship and shit goes south.
She's got to jump. It's like, oh yeah, that's...
And then, there, you know, it seems like there's going to be a run-in with the bad guy that's going to be very strange. Like, in the game, it gets this weird feeling going on.
Yeah.
Then she'll probably work her way out of that. And, yeah. But, Could be worse.
It could be. It could. They could decide to make a movie based off of something, terrible. Well, maybe that would be terrible, but like imagine like if they tried to make a movie based off of what's another popular franchise that probably would. Well, no, they could probably get away with doing a Call of Duty movie because it's basically just every war movie ever. But drawing a blank, I had an idea of like a good game franchise that would work. That wouldn't work well as a movie. Like trying to do something like King. Oh God, yeah, that would be or anything like that. I mean, they're doing The Witcher as a TV series, which maybe that would work out better. But imagine something like that, or like Dragon Age, as a movie, probably wouldn't end up too well. So,
I mean, it would be cool, but you totally lose the choice-based aspect.
Yeah,
that make those games really unique. But I mean, there's something there if you just wanted to tell
a story.
This is it. There's a lot of lore in both of those franchises, but yeah. The Punisher, though.
Yeah.
I think so. They put out like teaser trailers and stuff for the Punisher. But I would call this like the first full trailer.
Yeah, definitely
for this show. Set to 1 by Metallica, which incredible editing in this trailer to make like the sounds of him reloading guns and doing all kinds of stuff match up with all the sounds going on. Then the gunfire matches up with the drum beat and stuff. It's a really well edited trailer, and I'm excited for the Punisher. I think I'm more excited for the Punisher than I was for the Defenders and Iron Fist.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The Punisher's just great. John Bernthal as the Punisher is fucking awesome.
That's the best part of Daredevil season 2.
Yeah.
Like once they kind of, at least in my opinion, once they kind of go with more of the towards the hand stuff with like Elektra, that's when Daredevil season 2 kind of starts to go down, in my opinion. But yeah, he's fucking awesome in that, and it looks like they're doing very much same style stuff with this one. I mean, like there's all kinds of killing and shooting, and what's her face, Karen, is in it. She's gonna be in the series. That's cool. I saw some people were wondering. It's like, so basically, since Daredevil and Elektra is kind of like that's probably going to be the thing forever. I wonder if Karen and Frank Castle would be a thing.
Probably.
It could be an interesting dynamic. I mean, she's probably the only character that really got him throughout all of Daredevil. So who knows? But yeah, the only part of the trailer that I thought was weird was like the part where like they used the vocals for one. That part of the trailer, I'm like, this is not really a good part for a trailer, but then the rest of it was like, all right, I'm digging all this, especially like in the beginning when with the acoustic guitar and he's just like loading up his guns and it's in time with the guitar and stuff like that.
Yeah, it seems like it's probably going to be the most violent thing with the Marvel name on it.
Oh yeah.
But I think in order to do the Punisher well, you have to just let it loose.
Definitely.
And bring the violence and the guns. Yeah. All kinds of shit.
I mean, I don't expect it'll get super graphic, but I mean, in one part of the trailer, he just shoots a guy point blank in the head with a shotgun, and it's like, yeah. I wonder if like Kingpin will also be in this one as well, either, since him and the Punisher kind of have a few scenes together in Daredevil. Like, there's just a lot they could potentially do. Now, I know like Rosario Dawson's not in it, so you're not going to get Claire. This is the only Marvel Netflix thing that she's not going to be in. Good. But yeah,
she doesn't need to be in everything.
Yeah,
she kind of only has one role.
Yeah,
for a lot of these, I know they're trying to like branch her out with her relationship with Luke Cage and stuff.
That's like the only one. Her like that and Daredevil was like the only place that she maybe deserves to be in. Like Iron Fist was kind of like,
but she was fine in Iron Fist compared to everything else.
She was fine in Iron Fist, yeah. But then like her involvement in Jessica Jones, I guess maybe that was just to set up her being in Luke Cage, but that was kind of not important. Seemed kind of tacked on at the time, so
yeah. It would be cool if Kingpin is in it because I think he's a fucking awesome character. In what's his name, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great as him. So I would like if he's in it, but I don't know. I just hope it has a good story. I'm sure it'll be great to watch. But You know, I'm just wondering on the story end of how strong it'll be.
Because that might be the one place where they kind of fall flat, because I know they did hit a lot of the beats of, him and what happened to his family in Daredevil. So I wonder how they're gonna change that up. I hope they I hope they go the whole exploring how badly he's messed up thing. Like they kind of do in the beginning of the trailer, because it's obviously he's suffering from PTSD, so it's go full throttle on that and explore that. I mean that I think that'd be the best thing for them to do.
Yeah.
Is go down that, go to make it even darker, because why not?
Yeah. I agree. And the darker, better. Still no fucking date, man. What the hell?
I mean, assuming it's November, because that's where everything everywhere is saying. But still, it's
you're not that far out.
Do you think they did that, the whole thing at the end of the trailer, where it's just covering up the date? It's people were when's the date? And they're just
yeah, exactly. It wouldn't surprise me if at this point it just shows up on Netflix one day.
That would honestly maybe be kind of cool.
Yeah,
if it's just
there. Hey, the Punisher's out. Go watch it. Have they said how many episodes it's going to be? Is it going to be 13, like usual?
I don't even think they've said how many episodes it's going to be. At least as far as I'm aware. I hope it's not a mini-series. I hope it is the full 12, 13 episodes and not 8, 9.
Yeah.
I mean, 8, 9 would still it's 8, 9 episodes of The Punisher, and it'd still probably be good. And also, it all depends on the story. If 8, 9s and they still can tell a good story, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they could. If they do it right, they could do the full 13 episodes and make it compelling and fun to watch.
Yeah. I agree. Punisher, looking cool. So we saw Kingsman: The Golden Circle over the weekend. This is the second movie in the Kingsman franchise. The first one, The Secret Service, was 2014?
Something like that. Either that or 2015.
Which, that movie I think is fantastic. It kind of had this cool action feel, maybe a new sort of take on a James Bond sort of thing. And I love the world it's set up. I love the Kingsmen as an organization. It was a fascinating movie. Samuel L. Jackson as the villain in that movie, I thought it was great.
Yeah,
I'm usually not a huge fan of Samuel L. Jackson, but in that movie, awesome, because he played a character and not Samuel L. Jackson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that whole movie was great. So I think we were both really, really looking forward to The Golden Circle, and I think it's a very fun movie to watch, but it's definitely not perfect by any stretch of that imagination. But in terms of just sucking you in for 2.5 hours and putting a giant smile on your face, I think it does that pretty much the whole time. Whether the way that it's going about those things is good, that's questionable.
So I think really what my major because I think I went in expecting something as I didn't expect this movie's gonna go break new grounds, because I just didn't go in expecting that. I expected it to at least be as good as the first one, but I don't know. I think one of the things that bothered me the most was the pacing. In some ways, the pacing's a little weird at times in the movie, so it's kind of stop starts a lot, and it's we're going here, and then all right, and then cool, now we're gonna go to this place, and trying to understand this specifically the one character, what's happening, and it's wait, and it's just a couple little things. I don't understand why they brought back Galahad.
Yeah.
I mean that's no spoiler. That's in the trailers. It just kind of seemed very self-indulgent in a way, because it didn't really, except for one reveal, which is kind of towards the end of the movie, with involving a villain. There's not there wasn't really any reason to have him there.
No.
Which was just I was hoping maybe there would be an important plot point, and then it's just
and this is just me speculating. In the first movie, and this is Colin Firth's character that we're talking about. Spoilers for a 3-year-old movie at this point.
Yeah.
He gets shot in the head, pretty much point blank.
Mm-hmm.
And then they figure out a way to bring him back. I'm not going to say exactly how yet. I wonder if they did that, and they didn't know if they were going to get a sequel to the first one. So they just did it, and then it turned out people loved his character so much because I thought he is a fucking awesome character. And then they have to figure out some goofy way to bring him back, and now he's back, and now he can be back.
It's a very much Ex Machina big coincidence thing how they bring it back.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too, because when they started to get into it on how they actually brought him back, I'm like, this will be interesting how they explain this, and I was just like, I don't know. Like, this movie expects you to just kind of roll with it a lot of times, and that is certainly one of those times where it's just like, just don't think about it. Just roll with it.
Also, again, not going to spoil this part of the movie, but if they do, because there's talks doing a third movie or a Statesman spin-off movie. If they do this again for another character who ends up biting it in this movie, I don't know. At that point, like
which I know the character you're talking about, and it would not shock me because we did not actually see him die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, we didn't see a lot of people die.
Right.
There's a couple. Yeah. Okay, that's getting into slightly spoilers territory, but like, I mean, well, it's not really that much of a spoiler. You can look online. There's articles for this online. It's actually not that much Channing Tatum in the movie.
No.
Like, he's maybe in about 20 minutes of the movie of like actual like being around and doing stuff, if that. And it's like, I think it was because his film schedule ended up messing with it, and so they ended up replacing his character mostly with Pedro Pascal, which he's whiskey. Whiskey. Yep, that's.
Character names are awesome.
Yeah, they're great. I'm just trying to remember like what is it? Whiskey, and then the other dudes, there's ginger ale, there's tequila, and the main guys. See, I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
I don't remember Jeff Bridges' character's name, but whatever. Yeah.
And I thought Channing Tatum's character was cool when he was on screen. That's the thing I think about this movie that is the best part about it is the characters.
Oh yeah,
it was the best part about the first movie, and it's the best part about this one. All the characters, they're distinct and they're fucking incredible. And I love every single one of them. Even the villains, I'm just like, the villain, you really have to stretch, but I liked her character. Like, her reasoning behind everything, the way things go down, it's really stretched, but Julianne Moore's character is awesome, But yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I liked her character as much as she did. I don't know. Like, I just felt like it was a little. Again, me comparing it to like Samuel L. Jackson.
I don't like it as much as that.
I don't like that. I was like, oh, that's really good. And then you're just like, yeah, you're just crazy. Like, that's not fun. At least he was like crazy with like a little flair and a lisp. I don't know. That was one thing, and I just had a thought. Okay, give me a second. Okay, if you have anything else, give me like 2 seconds. I'm gonna try to remember what I was going to say.
When things start to get going, I think in like the last third of the movie, and the whole thing with the villain and the whole plot of that, it's just so lame. And it's like, this would never fucking happen. Ever.
Or the secondary, slightly villainous plot that kind of only exists to kind of reference one character later in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's like...
Yeah. And...
Come on.
It's not awful, and it does play to a lot of what the Kingsman movies have been about, and that's just completely insane and over the top.
And also satirizing culture. The first movie is very much a satire of British culture, and now they satirized American culture. Yeah. And they go to a fucking music concert, and people just doing drugs all over the place. Yeah. And that's a very anywhere thing to do, but it's also a very American thing to do.
Yeah. But I mean, I can totally see someone bitching about this, but I thought the action scenes were fucking incredible.
I thought they were good too.
Kingsman has such a style to how they do it, and it's so awesome. Yes, it's so fast paced, it's all over the place, and it's like, what the hell's going on? But I actually think they do it so well. And there's so many times where it's like, wow, like that dude just got completely chopped in half. A lot of people might not like that, but I think it works for Kingsman. And I don't want it to be kind of like a James Bond spy sort of thing where it's just a little bit more traditional action.
Yeah.
I like that it just goes fucking completely over the top with it, because that's going to be something that makes it its own thing still. You know, you have great characters and you have a completely insane action, you know. I love it.
I remember what I was going to say. I love how... fuck, what's the character's name? Because it's... I love how they brought back the joke from the end of the first movie. What's the name of the fucking chick?
Roxy?
No, the one that he bangs at the end of the last movie. They do butt stuff.
Oh, his lady?
His lady. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's his lady.
Yeah.
Like it's...
I forget her character.
I forget her character's name. Some princess, but it's like they kept that joke going, and like now they're together, and I'm just like...
Yeah.
And then they brought that joke back, and I'm just like... Are you trying to make up? Because I know a lot of people were pissed. A lot of people were pissed about that scene at the end of the first movie, because it's very... sexist.
Yeah. Hannah Alstrom? That's her name.
Yeah.
The actor's name. She plays Princess Tilda. Yeah.
I was just like, good God.
And another thing that I liked, but sometimes I didn't, was the dialogue. The dialogue can be a little corny and just kind of not delivered as well sometimes. And we cuss a lot, but I thought the amount of F-bombs that are dropped in this movie is kind of ridiculous. And most of them didn't need to be there because they didn't serve a purpose. It didn't make it funnier. It didn't prove more of a point. Nothing. It was just like, oh, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this, fuck. And it's like, whatever. But the best fucking line was when the main dude had to slip something in a certain spot, and he said, "I'm bursting for a pee." I've never heard that before in my life, and now that's all I say all the time when I have to pee. I'm bursting for a pee. Like, this is so perfect. I love that line.
It didn't hit me until like partway through the movie. This is the second movie of this year where "Take Me Home" by John Denver somehow plays an important part at some point in the movie. Like Alien Covenant,
yeah,
and then this one, which is two very weird movies to compare to have a connection like that to. But I'm like,
yeah.
And I knew it was building up towards, again, there's a moment later in the film but I would say it was a cool moment, with Merlin.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then, but I noted, I was thinking about that when I was driving home. I'm like, Alien Covenant used that song. I'm like, alright.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, and I don't give a shit to spoil or not. Sorry.
Let's go for it.
Elton John is in this movie.
It's not. But
he serves no purpose, it's just for comedy, and sometimes it hits, and sometimes it completely misses.
No.
And that's a lot of things about this movie. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you laugh a lot. But sometimes it's awesome, and sometimes it's just, you're laughing because it's so dumb. You know? And that's just the thing. Like, they took everything about the first movie and just took it up a whole fucking level. They're like, you like these crazy action set pieces? Let's fucking take it up a notch, and there's 4 of them in this movie. You like this dumb comedy? Let's take that up a notch. Let's put it through the whole movie. You like the characters? Let's fucking get some of the biggest, actors and actresses out there, bring them in. You have more characters now. Like, the over-the-top plot, let's give them another over-the-top plot. One that's probably even more fucking ridiculous. Like, it just takes everything about it, takes it up to another level. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. That's kind of what it comes down to.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe they get I hope they get those levels right if they do a third one.
I imagine they would. I think this has potential to be a really awesome franchise.
Yeah, I hope there's at least a trilogy. Bring it back, finish it off strong with the third movie, learn from what some people might perceive as mistakes from the second movie, and then just, make a better movie out of it.
Yeah. Overall, I still think I like the first one more.
Oh, yeah. I think
this one's fun.
This one's like a good 7.
Yeah.
Good 7 movie out of 10 in my book.
Also, it is the number 1 movie of the weekend. No surprise.
Yeah.
39 million it made. Then It still holding strong with 30 million. Damn. And then Lego Ninjago, 21.
Oh yeah, that came out this weekend too. Right.
So there you go. It kicking ass, man. Kicking everybody's ass.
Surprisingly for a horror movie. which is a big, those don't do well usually.
No, and it's surprising because it's like rated R and stuff. But I think as of late, I think there's a lot of rated R movies that are kind of changing that. Of like, you can invest in a rated R movie and it will fucking do really well. Like Deadpool.
Deadpool was a good one. Logan,
yes. Probably Kingsman.
Was Get Out R-rated? That feels like an R-rated movie.
Yeah. I think so.
I feel like that won't get a hard R. It just seems like it.
Yeah. So
we also
we saw American Assassin last weekend. I thought this movie was awful. Well, the first half of it was cool because it was actually trying to be something different. Like a different, kind of action, military, government sort of thing. And I thought it was pretty cool for the first half. It's the second half that it gets so cliche and just completely ridiculous, and it completely lost what made it special. And it tried to become this big thing when it totally didn't need to be. Like, it was so cool in the beginning because it was such a small, kind of contained sort of storyline they had going. And then it just
goes off, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, I think up until, like, while they're doing all the training stuff, it was, like, super cool. Basically up until they go off on mission. Because then it goes from being a movie about an assassin to being a spy movie. Mm-hmm. Which, if you're going to make it a spy movie, Atomic Blonde blows it out of the water completely.
Yeah.
Or it's like a knockoff Mission Impossible. And it's weird because, like, I thought that the two leads did really well. I thought Dylan O'Brien did a good job. I think he kind of lost it a little bit later in the movie. Mm-hmm. And then same thing with Michael Keaton. He did really good. And then there's a torture scene where it's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? Do you need to act this fucking nuts? Like, and that kind of sucks. Like, I was like looking forward to this being like a movie that really showcases like Dylan O'Brien's acting chops, because I've seen him. It's like he's on Teen Wolf, which as it's obvious I watch a lot, but and he does a great job. He plays the villain in like the third season, and he does that so well. And I can see where he's trying to do stuff like that in here, but then he doesn't. One thing I'll say that he does well is he does a good job like conveying like the dark emotionless thing with like not saying anything and with like his eyes. That's like the one good thing. And then the movie loses it. Like
it just becomes every other movie like this.
Yeah, and that's like I wanted this movie to be good. I really did. It was just like
yeah. The beginning is very shocking.
Yeah. How quickly it goes.
Like, wow, I can't believe that actually fucking did this. Holy shit. But hey, I mean that's cool because it served a purpose and it got you set up and got you feeling stuff pretty quick,
Which is hard, like, to do something like that in a lot of movies. Usually you have to build stuff up for, like, ever, but, like, literally 5 minutes, and it's like, oh, yeah. Shit. But, yeah. A lot of people like this movie. And I'm like, sure, if it's your cup of tea, but I'm just like, I think it's also the fact that, especially more recently. I bet you if I didn't watch as many movies now as I do, I might have actually enjoyed this movie a lot more. But now I have a lot more to compare it to. Also, especially after seeing, again, if I wouldn't have seen Kingsman, maybe, well, because that brought my opinion of it down a little bit more, if I wouldn't have seen Atomic Blondes this year, then maybe I'd be like, yeah, this movie's not half bad. Mm-hmm. But yeah, but then, like, yeah. I agree with Sam. That one fucking scene in the tunnels with the explosion, that makes no goddamn sense.
None of it makes sense.
It's like, what?
Even the very, very end of it just makes no fucking sense to me.
Or, there's a plot twist where in the bathroom or whatever, and I'm like, why?
That eventually they kind of undid.
It's...
Yeah, I didn't enjoy American Assassin, but hey, if it's
your thing,
sure.
At the most.
It also just felt like the longest fucking movie I've ever watched in my life.
It felt really long. Like, the pacing, like, and it's all that second half. The pacing is, like, cool, because it's like, oh, there's, like, a natural build-up, and then it just... I feel like it kept building up, and it just didn't go anywhere. Best I could give it is, like, a... Maybe, if I'm being super generous, like a 6. But even then, I'd probably give it, like, a 4 or a 5 out of 10. Mm-hmm. It's about the best I can give that movie.
Is it worse than King Arthur? In terms of just bad movies you've seen this year.
I say King Arthur's worse, because that one's really bad.
King Arthur's.
So, see, you know what? I'll give it a 5. Just because I gave King Arthur a 4. I'll give this a 5.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's like mediocre. That's a great mediocre score.
Yeah. I saw Mother yesterday with, so this movie has Jennifer Lawrence in it, Javier Bardem, Ed Harris is in the movie, which I totally forgot about. It's so Mother. Ed Harris, he plays in Westworld.
Okay, maybe
that's what I know him from like the biggest thing as of late that he's been in.
I'm gonna so you keep talking. Also, because I'm not gonna have much to say because I did not see this movie.
Yeah, so Mother is interesting, and it's in a love it or hate it camp. You either like this movie when you walk out of the theater, or you hate this movie.
That guy. He's in the second National Treasure movie. That's the one other thing I know him from. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
And also, I'm going to fuck his name up, but this is from Darren Aronofsky, who directed Black Swan.
Yeah, okay, yep, that's...
So he does some very interesting movies with very interesting themes and stuff. And also just the way this movie's shot and all that stuff, very interesting, because I'd say 75% of this movie is just zoomed in right on Jennifer Lawrence and her face. That's most of it, and it's pretty crazy. And so you're watching this movie. I wouldn't really call it a horror movie. It's not super scary. It doesn't have jump scares. Yeah, it's more such just a suspenseful thriller sort of thing. But the way it's all building up, the way certain things happen, then it gets completely fucking ridiculous, and then it ends, and you're like, "What the fuck did I just watch?"
In a good way or a bad way?
In my opinion, in a bad way, because I feel. It's one of those movies that's just like things happen and you have to piece them all together, and it doesn't really give you much to help you piece them together. So afterwards, I looked up because I was so fucking lost. I just kept thinking about this movie. I'm like, this didn't make sense, that didn't make sense, I don't understand it. And then I looked up like Mother Explained, and then this dude's just going on about all this stuff, and I'm just like, this movie is actually kind of genius with the way that it's put together, but it just doesn't really help you along with any of that stuff. But because once you realize the overall themes of this movie, then you can start to put almost everything together, and everything clicks, and the reason why everything is represented the way it is just starts to make sense, you know. But there's some really fucked up things that happen in this movie too. But you know, it's cool. I liked it once it was kind of, even if it was just a little hint. And I'm just gonna say to anybody that wants to go watch this movie, it basically just think of it in terms of like religion and Christianity, and that's it. Because if you think of it why everything happens the way it does, in that aspect, you'll be alright. Because I didn't know this movie was going to have bigger themes of that stuff, and just bigger themes of just humanity in general. But when you put it all together, I'm like, alright, cool. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence is good in it. Javier Bardem's good in it as well. It just gets to this point where it is so ridiculous. And if you just don't understand the bigger picture of why it's so ridiculous, you're just like...
You're going to be lost.
What did I just watch for the past 20 minutes? Because I just do not understand at all. But everything, yeah. It's an interesting movie. I would recommend watching. I know on like whatever it is, Cinema Score or whatever, it has an F. And I don't think it's an awful movie at all. I just think most people are going to walk out being confused. There was these old ladies in the theater, and right afterwards they're like, I should have just stayed home and watched Law and Order. That was the dumbest movie I've ever seen. I'm like, yeah, I was feeling you too. When I first walked out of the theater, I'm just like, I don't understand what I watched. But then if you piece it all together, it
Makes sense.
makes sense.
Actually, kind of. It's actually kind of interesting that you brought up that I didn't realize this was by the same director who made Black Swan. Because I saw like a post on the internet. It goes, how do you show that she's how do you show a lady that she's damaged on the inside? And you say you cast a pretty lady, and then in the poster you have like a piece of like her skin coming off. And that's like one of the posters for Mother is Jennifer Lawrence, and there's like a piece of her skin coming off. And then you look at the poster for Black Swan, it's a similar kind of thing happening with Natalie Portman's character. And it's just like I was like, I get it. And now you bring that up, I'm like, oh, that's why they're making that connection. It's the same guy making the same poster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a movie. To me, you know, like I recently just watched The Witch from last year, and that has a lot of like religious
Oh yeah.
themes to it and aspects to it, and this movie's the same way. Not as much on the nose, like The Witch does, but this movie the same way.
Yeah. The Witch hits you on the nose with a fucking baseball bat.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's an interesting movie. I wish more people would give it a shot, but it is one of those just very strange movies. You know. So yeah, that's that. Let's talk about some music.
Music.
Get on out. There's not a whole lot of video game news. I mean, TGS happened. Not a whole lot happened there. Square Enix revealed a new game.
Final Fantasy IX is getting remade.
Monster Hunter World comes out January 26th, which looks kind of cool. Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to get some new details on Thursday. Reggie Fils-Aimé said that they totally delivered with supply for the Switch. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? But sure.
Did you hear the other thing? This is another thing that I'm not sure. I read somewhere that Nintendo is adding more Super NES classics out into the wild. And then sometime next summer, the NES Classic's going to come back out. So that's really cool.
Yeah. I'm hoping, I guess, what is it, Friday? When this NES Classic comes out, the 29th?
Yeah.
I'm hoping I can find one. I highly doubt it.
Highly doubt it. I mean,
But
probably their pre-orders are probably fucking snatching up all those.
Yeah. Also, Cuphead's out on Friday.
Well, we have to get that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm
Fuck right.
kind of looking forward to that one. Lots of good games out. There was something else I was going to say. But I'm blanking on it. Anyways, let's talk about some jams. There are some jams that have been revealed. Winds of Plague announced their new album, Blood of My Enemy. If you're not with me, you're my enemy.
You're my enemy.
October 27th is when it comes out. They put out a new song, Never Alone, which I have to admit is way more interesting than I thought it was going to be. Especially compared to their last album. It's a lot more like symphonic and stuff, and that's cool. There you go. Cannibal Corpse put out a new song, Code of the Slashers. It's very fucking heavy. It's a Cannibal Corpse song, but it is heavy as fuck, homie. Like, damn. And it's a little bit more, at times, slower for Cannibal Corpse than normal. Nothing wrong with that. Where was it? Oh, Machine Head announced a new tour. Basically, it's just going to be them, and they're playing for 2.5 hours to 3 hours every night. It's going to happen in January. They also said that not January. They said they finished recording their new album, and they're hoping to have that out in January. This tour actually does happen in January, mostly in February. So, yeah. The Catharsis World Tour. I'm just not sure. I love Machine Head a lot. I'm not sure if I want to listen to Machine Head for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Personally.
Machine Head's like a good, hour and a half, 2 hour band, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, usually when they headline like a normal tour, they play for 2 hours, and I'm like, it's fine. Because then they hit most of what you want them to play. Let's see. Ghost is hoping to release their new album in April 2018.
Ooh.
According to their singer, said that it's being worked on, all kinds of stuff, and they're hoping for April for that to come out. Looking forward to that. I think that's about it in terms of bigger stuff, but there is some new jams that are out that are good.
Get some new jams.
Pull this shit up. Yeah. There's a lot of reviews on our channel too that I think y'all should check out. There's Ensiferum. There's Belphegor. Exodus, an Obituary and Power Trip. I did know one too. Oh, the Contortionist. Y'all should check those out. An Arch Enemy.
Maybe we did Arch Enemy.
There's a Game of Thrones video you should check out. An Uncharted video you should check out. There's a lot of shit.
Couple more videos coming out here soon. You should check out.
Yeah.
On the horizon.
Some of these things that are out this week will certainly be getting reviewed. So let's begin.
Let us begin. Shall we begin? And boom, video stops.
Yeah. Come on, internet. Load. Archspire with Relentless Mutation.
Ooh. Nope.
Technical death metal. You know, I usually just give a lot of things a chance, even if I'm not the biggest fan of them. I'm like, I'll at least listen to it. And I was going to give the new Archspire a shot, and I'm just like, this style of technical death metal is just not my thing. I just don't understand it. It's just a little. It's just
it's a little.
It's a ridiculous thing, and there's a lot of talent to it, but
it's a little much.
Yeah, not my thing. Why is this being so goddamn slow? Come on, man. You were taking so long. Cradle of Filth with Cryptoriana, the Seductiveness of Decay.
They're melodic death metal, aren't they?
No. I would call them.
What are they?
You could call them black metal. I would more just call them kind of a symphonic metal sort of thing.
Okay.
They have a lot more like gothic sound to them. They're just not as much like black metal as they were earlier in their career. I listened to this so far, and I very much am enjoying it. And their last album I thought was good. So Cradle Phil's on a little bit of a comeback. King Parrot with Ugly Produce.
The fuck was that band? Hatebeak. That's what it was.
Yeah. This is thrash / grindcore.
All right.
Oh my god. Come the fuck on. This web page is kicking my ass. This usually never happens. Come on, man. Also on Cradle of Filth's new album, they covered Annihilator, which is really weird. But the Living with self-titled.
Living. Death metal?
Atmospheric rock.
Damn it! It would have been funny if it was death metal. It would have been funny if it was death metal because they're called The Living. I tried. I was going more for the joke than actually getting it right on that one.
Yeah. Mastodon with Cold Dark Place.
Oh, fuck right.
It's an EP. 4 new songs. I thoroughly enjoy all of them. They're all different from Mastodon, but people will bitch how it's boring. Satyricon with Deep Calleth Upon Deep.
Power metal.
Black metal.
I was gonna say black, and
this is they're kind of one of the earlier black metal bands. They've been around for a long time. Chelsea Wolfe with Hiss Spun.
Hard rock.
Experimental / doom. Wolves in the Throne Room with Thrice Woven.
Hardcore.
Black metal. I'm also going to check this out. Never really listened to them before, but a lot of people talk about them. Circa Survive with The Amulet.
Progressive.
Post-hardcore. Counterparts with You're Not You Anymore.
Fuck. It's not progressive?
Hardcore.
Hardcore. Yeah, I knew it was like progressive hardcore.
This album's alright. I'm not a big melodic hardcore sort of dude anymore, but Counterparts is always neat. Wonder if Sam's listening to this, because it wasn't their last album, but the one before that was Sam's album of the year.
Yeah.
2014, 2013, I don't even know. Frank Iero in The Patience with Keep the Coffins Coming. EP.
Hard rock?
Alternative rock.
Yeah, close enough.
Matt Cameron with Cave Dweller.
I don't even fucking know.
Rock. Otherwise with Sleeping Lions.
Otherwise. Hardcore?
Hard Rock.
Ah!
Sons of Texas with Forged by Fortitude.
Southern metal? Or Southern rock?
Rock.
Yeah, Southern rock. Yeah, I'm going with Southern rock.
Last one. With the Dead with Love from With the Dead.
Industrial.
Stone.
Fuck.
Doom. So yeah, some of those things will certainly be reviewed. About it. So what you think of any of these things? Go watch the things that are on the channel.
Watch the things. Go watch the trailers. Go watch the movies.
Yeah, and also we're 14 subscribers from 2,000. So tell your mama, your papi, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your dog, your cat,
your mommy, your mammy. Wait, I don't know how the song goes anymore. I don't know how Thrift Shop goes anymore.
Go tell Poppy to have his
Hey,
boys
Poppy.
subscribe. All of them.
Yeah.